Citizens speak out. In cities and countries worldwide, people are gathering to stand up for greater justice, peace, security and democracy, including those in Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Bolivia, Burkina Faso, Iraq, Jordan, Libya, Morocco, Oman, Serbia, Syria and Yemen.
Following 36 hours of talks between the Bolivian government and minority political party members, the government announced an 11% wage increase, stating that it would go up to 12% if sufficient funding could be secured.
Citizens in New York, USA, as well as in Germany and Hong Kong, united in a call for China to release artist and activist Ai Weiwei. In Detroit, Michigan, USA, over 5,000 unionized teachers and other school workers received layoff notices from temporary manager of the Detroit Public Schools, Mr. Robert Bobb. Although only a fraction of the educators are likely to lose their jobs, of greater concern are Mr. Bobb's announced intention to modify union contracts using emergency powers granted by the state for implementing government cost-cutting policies. These policies have been sparking protests since last month, including one in which 5,000 public and private union workers rallied in the state capital, calling for the government to represent the people and maintain collective bargaining rights.
As demonstrations continue on a weekly basis in Iraq, with demands that include the provision of better basic services such as electricity, Iraqi police opened fire on a gathering Sunday in the northern city of Sulaymaniyah, resulting in injury to 24 protesters, including 2 local journalists.
In Azerbaijan, security forces quickly quelled a protest on Sunday, calling for more reform in the capital of Baku, detaining dozens of people, including a young girl arrested along with her mother after she shouted the word freedom.
A spokesperson for Oman's Sultan Qaboos bin Saeed stated that the government would spend $2.6 billion to satisfy the demands of protesters, calling for better wages, jobs, and an end to corruption. Many of Yemen's defected lawmakers, ministers, and other senior figures have left the ruling party of President Ali Abdullah Saleh to establish their own party in protest of the violence being used against innocent citizens. The Bahrain Center for Human Rights reports that over 800 people, including 39 women and one 12-year-old child, have been arrested in Bahrain since February 2011, many who have had no guarantee of being able to see family members or even their lawyers. Those detained include human rights defenders, journalists, political leaders, teachers, trade unionists, doctors, and clerics. At least 4 have died in this month already, all said to bear signs of severe abuse. The international organization Teachers Solidarity stated that Bahraini security forces have been stopping school buses and issuing beatings to children if they do not have a picture of the Bahraini king in their textbooks. Iran's Foreign Minister Ali Akbar Salehi, meanwhile, has asked the UN Children's Fund or UNICEF to help end the violation of children's rights, including the government's expulsion of children from school for their religious beliefs.
As some 20,000 people in the Syrian city of Homs occupied the town's clock square, renamed Tahrir Square in honor of the Egyptian protests, they also began setting up tents, stating they would remain until pro-democracy demands were met. Meanwhile, the Syrian state news agency Sana published an article claiming that the protests in places like Homs and Baniyas were being run by armed insurgents who were firing on government personnel and civilians alike, killing and wounding a number of security agents. The Interior Ministry issued a further statement saying that these armed insurgents would be brought to justice to maintain state security. Protesters in Homs denied the claims, saying that they have set up a checkpoint to ensure the unarmed status of all people entering the square. Late on Monday, security forces opened fire on an estimated 5,000 protesters who had spent the night in Homs Tahrir Square, clearing the area by force.
UN Humanitarian Chief Valerie Amos reports that the Libyan government has approved UN humanitarian aid being offered in the besieged city of Misrata, and that she and a UN Special Envoy to Libya had earlier received approval to set up a humanitarian aid office in Tripoli.
In the days leading up to the 25th anniversary of the devastating Chernobyl nuclear reactor accident in the Ukraine, about 2,000 veteran cleanup operation workers from the plant marched in Kiev to protest major reductions in their monthly pensions. With amounts that have been reduced to $150 per month in some cases, the former workers are no longer able to even buy medicines and other necessities that were promised as compensation for their dangerous exposure to radiation following the nuclear disaster. Upon seeing the service people who had knowingly risked their well-being and lives, Supreme Master Ching Hai said, "Their bravery makes me cry. Sorry the world is so polluted. The authorities should listen to sincere people."
As we mourn the loss of lives, we are heartened by the calming of turmoil in certain countries and pray for a halt to all conflicts so that safety, dignity, and peace may reign in every nation.
In sorrowful response to these unfortunate world events,